etc., have billions and billions. Even for the Saudis, it's in trillions in the U.S., right? So you see why, when you look at U.S.-Saudi relations, you see how, even though they had, the Americans, the previous Biden regime had issues with the Jamal Khashoggi, this assassination. You see that Trump, because he's very transactional, in no time, he quickly cozied up to the MBS, the Saudi Crown Prince, and now they are in good business. He says, so the Saudis are not even responsible for the death of Khashoggi, right? So that is the plain truth. The American economy invites a lot of foreign investors, and so it comes with some protection. Now, with the way Oforiatta is invested in there, you see that one of his lawyers, John Ashcroft, Ashcroft is a lobbyist as well. He's a lobbyist. And what we say in America, the lobbyists, they are the people who go around, okay, midnight, influencing government policies, etc., getting things done. They fix issues for you, they fix matters. So, and with that choice, John Ashcroft, who was former Attorney General from 2001 to 2005, that's a colossus. So it tells you that there will be a lot of power play. This thing is not a joke. There will be a lot of power play. So that's why I'm saying that looking at everything, if we are judging by what is on paper, it's a very complex fight. Very complex. And you see now, the next hearing is in what? April. Is that also?
Yeah, that's for the
bail. And that's
the bail is February 19th.
19th, oh sorry.
Yeah, but
and then
the April is for the substantive case of the immigration.
Yes, so you see that the trial will go on, and we all know that even under the extradition side has come on, it even makes it more complex. You know that extradition takes more time. So we are analyzing that if we look at what is on paper, which is that Oforiatta has millions of investments in the U.S., then it complicates the fight. It complicates the fight. It's not just, an ordinary John Doe that you just catch and then throw out. No. And look at the pedigree of the lawyers. It doesn't come cheap. That's a lot of money. John Ashcroft, Google, you're talking about millions of dollars in legal fees alone. Millions of dollars in legal fees alone. And he didn't just take one lawyer. Then he took the Afghanistan man too. The Kashimi. Kashimi is also alleged to have fled from Afghanistan. He fled from accountability. You see?
Well,
you Google, you see, aviation minister.
But if you talk about the millions of investment, there was a question when you made this point. One that wanted to find out exactly what investments Oforiatta has in the United States. If you say millions, what do you know?
Oh, so some are in stocks, bonds, U.S. Treasury, bonds, stocks, etc. Then private investments as well. It's no secret. Okay, so both public and private.
I see.
Both public and private. And now that he has the lobbies in there, as I say, when you see lobbies brought in there, Charlie, this fight is far more complex than.
So this investment you're talking about is one that can be publicly verified. You picked some information you are looking into. I just want to find out, because these questions I keep getting, that you keep referencing Oforiatta's millions of investment in the United States. It's going to make it difficult for him to be extradited.
Oh, yes. Oh, but it's even, those actions, once again, you remember those actions. At the point that I said his son had applied for permanent residence for him, this is the same way they came. How? I should show my source. Thankfully, in 2 months, it came out that his own lawyers had admitted. In the same manner, when it comes to the investment, be patient. Be patient. You heard the phrase the Attorney General used. He said the other investigations he's doing, okay, they are mind-blowing. You know, Dr. Ayuni is very moderate, okay? He's not giving away to flamboyant words and swag easily like that. So for Ayuni to tell you that the other investigations against Oforiatta, when they come out public, they would blow you away. Please be patient. Be patient. So let me use the publicly available information. That's what I'm using to answer you. And then let's go back for the avoidance of, I say, Google and see John Ashcroft's pedigree. You know what it takes to retain John Ashcroft as a lawyer? You are running into millions of dollars. What are you saying? Even the lawyer alone, you're already running into millions of dollars.
Right.
So you see.
But then we come to the actions of the perennial and habitual demonstrators. And it is a legitimate point. If a man's argument is that because of the actions and inactions or otherwise of my stay in office, and because it is hyper-partisan, I will not get a fair trial. Then you turn the TVs and you see men and women at the US Embassy literally calling for his blood. Literally screaming, kill him, crucify him. Then the man can make that argument, and we can all down make that argument. You said it's a ruse. It could be. But then we also know this. That's why lawyers exist on technicalities, right? Because without technicalities, the law is just poetry. It's just literature. Okay. That could be the case. That could be what somebody will hang this whole thing. We told you that this will happen. Look at what they are doing. They're supercharging the whole system. Because the question is, then they're saying that is there any judge who can see these placards, who can see this and free him? That the public anger may be visited on that judge or that judiciary system. When you do that, you are giving people, you may be giving him weapons. And then if those weapons are not successfully used, I'm not saying they should be, I'm not saying they will be, but it's possible that those become weapons, armory, if they are successfully deployed and it doesn't happen, then you begin to do what Martin tries to do, to blame a political party for the actions of an individual. How? I mean, I always say this, I don't know what you gain by doing that. Why?
And you heard Professor Bafaj make the point about Ken Furata not acting alone.
Yes.
And that he acted as a result of both an appointee within an administration.
Exactly. We said that. And fortunately for us, the other people that he was supposed to arrest, they are already there.
What?
No, he was charged with other people, right?
No, he's just his chief of staff.
Exactly. I agree. No. I mean, all the charges that the SP brought, there are so many people that were so charged.
Yes, that's for SML. SML is one of 5 issues that the OSP is asking questions of him. There's the Petroleum and Minerals Revenue Assurance Contract. There's the electricity contract termination. That's the cancellation of the ECG agreement with Beijing BX. And then there's the National Cathedral. And then there's SML one.
Yes. So I don't understand. What's the question then?
So, no, you are referencing the fact that there are others that he's being charged with.
Yes.
But this is just specific to just the SML
exactly.
case.
So what I'm saying is that the state can go ahead with, because I don't think all these cases, the state is again that he just acted alone.
No.
So there were other people too. So those people, I don't know whether their trials have begun. Or we are waiting. Or is it
the whole trial?
The whole trial.
In the US with his aide, Akori, and it's Akori.
So the point I'm trying to make is that, again, the more you try unsuccessfully to make this a partisan case, whenever you accuse his political party, you are making the case a partisan case. The moment you try to bring in the former president, you are making a partisan case. But this is not, he's not been tried or he's not been looked for his partisan case. No, he's been looked for one, you were made a minister. There were laws, there were rules and regulations that govern how you should perform those duties. Did you do that? Did you protect and preserve the laws that were given to you, both the letter and the spirit of the law? Did you implement policies, make decisions in the supreme interest of this country? That is what is at stake. Not his association otherwise, because I don't think the NPP did not hold a meeting to say, Ken, you can do this. No, most of the things are done either administrative or a policy. In fact, I don't think you'll be surprised to hear that there are people within his own political party who were against what he was doing. They did. They protested. They wrote letters. The NPP rose up. There were people, MPs, how many MPs? 88 MPs wrote a letter. So whenever you are roping in the party, 98. You are also 98 good.
Eventually the entire caucus.
Thank you. My point is that then, when you then keep accusing the party, you're also scandalizing them. Because they're like, listen, we actually rose up against this thing to put on record. Today we are referencing that because they were saying that is not whom we are, that's our party. They are referencing that. So whenever you do that, then they ask you, what did you do when others happened? So my point is, look, let's roll back the partisanship. Roll back the partisanship. Okay. And let's try to deal this case solely based on its merits or otherwise. Right. If you don't do that, and we begin, and you try to bring in the party, then before you realize, So far, you've seen that. The whole party, the structures of the party, they've just kept quiet because here's a man fighting for his liberties and freedoms. You have to respect that too, no matter what. He has his fundamental human rights. When you begin to make it a partisan case, when you begin to rope the party in, before you realize the party may realize, oh, look, we are not going to sit down and allow an individual to just keep roping us in. Then the party may then begin to, and before you realize, it becomes the regular or the normal NDC, NPP football. We don't want that. Let's deal with this case just solely on its merits and let the man one day have his day in court and let the court decide what he has to do. Right. And I'm saying this, even if this trial goes, this is delays, and he gets in, and it goes for 10 years, 20 years, 10 years, it comes. No matter the attorney general, the government that is there, if he is found guilty, we should not issue a nolle prosequi.
All right.
We should not. Because I'm saying this, it's important. One of the reasons why you can see the state trying to be a little bit of a hurry to prosecute this, because the state is afraid that if it comes at a later date, another attorney general in that office may issue a nolle prosequi as it had happened. So let's give and do it quickly. My question is, can we create a system where politicians and big men like this cannot game the nolle prosequi thing in this action? Because you made a point. So now they contribute plenty money, political successes. That is why my argument is, that is why they then get the nolle prosequi. It's because they do that because Attorney General comes and then they tell you, hey, we gave 10 million, 2 million, 5 million for you to come to power. If we hadn't given the money, you wouldn't be in power. So in return, give us a nolle prosequi. Until we remove the nolle prosequi as an incentive for corruption, until we make it that nolle prosequi doesn't incentivize corruption, if we do not do that, then these things you are talking about will keep happening. You will keep gaming the system.
That by the time the OSP began its chase of Ken Ofori-Atta, he had already started to change his status in America. By the time the OSP, put him on the wanted list on Interpol Red Notice, he had already put in a request to be in America for good and not to return to Ghana. So those who suggest that the OSP was rushing were wrong. Let's begin with Professor Jampo. I began with an introduction, and it is true. When we sat in this studio, when a good number of you were here, I asked a number of you a question, whether you believed that Ken Ofori-Atta would have been in detention for 1 day in Ghana if he submitted himself to law enforcement. And nobody believed that he would have spent even 2 hours or an hour in detention. This is where he is now. He's getting to 2 weeks, and he's likely, or he's potentially looking to up to April, where he's going to be in detention.
I'm saddened by that. I think 2 weeks ago I was here, we made the same point. We are, regardless of our differences in Ghana, okay, one thing that has kept us together is that behind the scenes, we have some complex relationships, with ourselves. Everybody knows somebody. And it was BJ Darocha who told me that sometimes your best friend is in the other political party. The worst enemy is in your own political party. Okay, so in my view, given how we have conducted ourselves and how we have held ourselves as a people, regardless of the arguments that are being made that he should be brought to book, and all that, regardless of the expectations of the people, I do not think that he would be subjected to the kind of treatment that at the moment he's being subjected through. Untumi was invited. How many days did he spend? Okay, so my view is that given what he has done for Ghana, I don't think that the law enforcement authorities would have been inhuman towards him. He has a right. You may face your charges. You would have the right to respond and then if you are given a bill, recently there is a certain elite consensus among all of us that bail conditions cannot be arbitrary. If you give it and it is too much, we can all jump in to say that it be reduced, it be varied, and all that. But I think what is happening, or what has caused the problem, is some form of sycophantic public support for what is wrong, and in my view, a certain also incompetence in legal advice that have coalesced to push the man to where he is.
The bail thing we are talking about here, it is bail he is seeking, and he didn't get it after over a week in detention, and now he's back.
Yes,
it is bail he's seeking. That's all.
It is so worrying. Yeah. And so my view is that now who caused some? Who has caused all these things? So we will plead. Now I am hearing some of the lawyers saying that the man would come. Maybe now they are thinking about the right approach or what. You see, and let me say this. Those who are seeking to be given high offices of political power, those who are seeking to be given the fiduciary trust of the people, they should take note of this. You don't look good in the eyes of discerning people if you support a certain conduct that accept the belief or the practice that anybody who is given the mandate to govern, or anybody who is appointed a minister, can do anything and decide to stay away. If he chooses not to come, so be it. We shouldn't talk about it. I hear a lot of people saying, but if he's not coming, leave him. You can try him there. It is not good in terms of the optics. I'm a student of political accountability, and there are so many mechanisms for demanding accountability and for ensuring accountability. Asking him to come and face the law is one. And so if I see those people who are seeking to be elected to power, those people who are seeking to be given the public fiduciary trust, arguing or insinuating that if he's not coming, leave him, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make you look good. And it is a slap in the face of our quest to project accountability as one cardinal principle of democratic rule. Do you?
You have made the case so political that even the U.S. government will be thinking twice before they can.
Dr. Bonfe,
allow it.
What are you seeing? What has been your reading? And I haven't heard you comment about this, or I haven't followed you for a long time as far as this issue has been on the front burner.
It's tiring following theater in Ghana. We're becoming a nation of theater. First of all, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama did not make any significant difference in his votes between 2020 and 2024. For the records, he had an increase of about 60,000.
Oh, you're going back to the old
No, I'm just making
discussion.
a point. I'm just making a point.
Okay.
It's important that we establish certain truths. President Mahama was not significantly gathering additional votes in 2024 from what he had in 2020. That record must be clear. Two. Yeah, exactly. And if, well, I beg you. I'm just making that point. Something, you see, you know better than I do that successful prosecution goes through a process. And parties succeed or fail in securing prosecution or verdicts based on their conduct in the rules of engagement in that process and fidelity to the law, to the extent that when they are dissatisfied with the outcome, they have rights of appeal to certain levels. Why are we sitting here? You have misappropriated public funds. Come and account for it, and you are running away from it. And that means you are running from accountability. Is that the case?
Then what should the people think?
As I sit here, it's not about what the people should think. It's about what narrative we put out there. Especially those of us who are privileged and opportuned to speak on national matters, no matter what we feel. If I were Ken Ofori-Atta, and I'm happy I'm not him, I won't get myself into this. And if Ken Ofori-Atta was thinking the way I am thinking, this matter would not have reached where it has reached. What is annoying and disgusting, we sat in this country when a president-elect without constitutional authority set up a so-called aura. And so fixated with accountability, we did not question it. What power did President-elect Mahama have to appoint aura? Did he? Tell me, within the constitution. None. But he did it.
It's a campaign promise.
Because they campaigned on that. That aura has virtually been subsumed into some legality because the Attorney General says it's working.
Aura doesn't exist.
I'm saying
The
what they
committee
did
does not exist.
Hold on. Come on. That's a fluke. You are rather empowering my point. That today, that so-called oral has died out.
Really?
But where is it? But you are saying it.
The
committee doesn't exist.
Committee.
Yes, but what about their report? It's been subsumed by the Attorney General to work with.
To investigate.
End? To what end? So what was the politics about it all about? Something. To get successful prosecution requires due diligence, patience, soberness or sobriety, and careful tact, diligence. It's not the political noise.
Where is that missing?
It's missing in this.
How?
Now tell me, this hula baloo about Ken must come. If he doesn't come, as if we are disabled by law to get to justice, the overall questions of accountability. My understanding was that he's even represented by lawyers in this matter. And that with the question I'm asking is, have they responded to the charges that have been leveled against him? Those are the issues that should be of concern to us. And what are their responses? We are not concerned about those things.
There's no requirement in law, in criminal law, that when a charge sheet is put in the court,
yes,
a lawyer should file response.
You can even decide that at the end of their prosecuting, you say that there's no case for you to answer, and the judge, you know that. So why? Why is it that we are making it as if that person is exercising his rights under our very constitution, as you have very much said, then it means he's running away from accountability.
The correction I was seeking to make is that if today the court called a number of people charged with a particular offense, a lawyer cannot walk to the courtroom and say, I represent Samson Adi.
Yes.
When Samson is not in the courtroom. When Samson is not in the courtroom.
When Samson has not appointed you to represent him.
No, in criminal law, the person appears.
Yes.
And then you, the lawyer, appear
to represent the person.
To say, my name is Samson, I'm representing Kwabena Bonfe. And Kwabena must be there.
Present.
Without that, it doesn't work.